Hello and a very good afternoon to all of y'all who are joining me in this live interaction on News 9's Facebook as well as YouTube page. And even as the entire world is transfixed on the COVID-19 pandemic, the much awaited US presidential polls, an alarming report of Laptev Sea has emerged. For the first time since records began, the main nursery of Arctic sea ice in Siberia has yet to start freezing even in late October. So for the uninitiated, the Laptev Sea, which is the marginal sea of the Arctic Ocean, is literally known as the birthplace of ice. It is located between the southern coast of Siberia, the Taimyr Peninsula, the northern coast, the northern coast of Siberia, the Taimyr Peninsula, and Severnaya, Zamelia, and the New Siberian Islands as well. The climate scientists believe that this delayed annual freeze is in the birthplace of ice has been caused by the freakishly protracted warmth in the northern Russia, and the intrusion of the Atlantic waters could possibly knock on effects across the polar region. Now, the graphs of sea ice extent in the Laptev Sea, which usually shows a healthy seasonal pulse, appears to have flatlined, and as a result there is a record amount of open sea in the Arctic right now. And the reason behind this is because of the ocean temperatures which crossed 5°C recently because of the record-breaking Siberian heat wave, and also the unusually early decline of last winter's ice. So according to an earlier study, this year's Siberian heat wave was made at least 600 times more likely by industrial and also agricultural emissions. But scientists have said that the warmer air temperature is not the only factor which is slowing the formation of ice, and added that the climatic change is also pushing more balmy Atlantic currents into the Arctic and breaking up the usual stratification between the warm deep waters and also the cool surface, which also makes it all the more difficult for the ice to form. Now, in order to give us more insights, joining me on the phone line is Dr. Yellappa Reddy, who is the chairman of the Bangalore Environment Trust. Many thanks for joining me in this live interaction, sir. And my first question to you is, can delayed freeze in Laptev Sea have knock-on effects across the polar region, sir?
Yes. See, there are three phenomena. Number one is condensation, evaporation, and regulation.
Okay.
The condensation, evaporation, regulation plays a very critical role in maintaining the global temperature and also the oceanic currents. So these three phenomena have been altered very dramatically because of the hydrates. Hydrate means it is not just mere water.
Okay.
It contains certain chemicals like carbon dioxide and various other particulate matters. These particulate matters, when they accumulate in the ambient air, so this is going to alter the changes in the condensation, evaporation, and regulation. Added to that, there is another very important phenomenon that is called the pollen grains. The natural forest will release all kinds of wide variety of pollen grains. These pollen grains plays a very important role in condensation.
Okay.
The pollen grains which they release to the ambient air, the nano particulate matter will stitch the water molecules. But the particulate matters which have been emitted to the ambient air by three major countries like America, China, and also India, they are still continuing to burning of the fossil fuels, especially the thermal plants and the fossil fuels emission. They have not signed the Paris Agreement. And these are the three major countries now contributing in a big way for emission of the particulate matter to the ambient air. And also the carbon dioxide accumulation in the ambient air. All these things cumulatively is going to have a very major changes in the water cycle, condensation, evaporation, and regulation.
Okay. Now, Dr. Yellappa, as we all know, Arctic plankton absorbs the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere or the environment there. So, do you think that thinner ice in the region could reduce the nutrients for these planktons?
Definitely, undoubtedly. Undoubtedly, the carbon accumulation, now it is touching 480 ppm.
Okay.
From 280 in before industrial era. Now it has reached around 480, 490, and up to 500. So the particulate matter, when it reaches 480 to 500 ppm, that is going to bring in a dramatic change in the whole of this phenomenon of condensation regulation and this is very, very important critical issues. Global temperature increases.
Okay.
So once the global temperature increases to the level of 2 to 3 degrees, now properly the international reports warning the whole world, warning all the countries, but the vested interests and the decisions, particularly the major players like US, China, and other countries, are not interested in signing the agreement and also in contributing in regulation as they promised in the Paris conference.
Now, Dr. Yellappa, my last question is it too late, or do we have more time in order to revive the Laptev Sea? And if we do, then will systematically reducing the greenhouse gas emissions help?
It is already now, whole world is changing. Tremendous impacts have been whole world, everywhere, including China, including America, including India. The floods and the droughts and the El Nino effect and La Nina effect, and all these things have been very beautifully documented by the scientists. But the decision makers and the United Nations also is becoming helpless. For the last 75 years, they played a very important role, and they are not listening to the United Nations scientists and also the other scientists who are repeatedly warning and informing every country. But still, the decision makers have acquired lot of power. Power means veto power also, including the veto power. They will say that we do not want this. So ultimately, it is the common man who suffers. That is happening in a very massive scale. Macro changes has taken place all over the world. Every country, almost every country is suffering from the drought, from the floods, and the health and the pandemic. All these things cumulatively playing a havoc with the life and the health of the ecosystems, especially the marine ecosystem, oceanic systems. There is dramatic changes is taking place.
Right, Dr. Yellappa, many thanks for joining me in this live interaction.
Thank you.
There you heard it from Dr. Yellappa saying that most of the countries have not signed the Paris Agreement, which focuses on reducing the carbon emissions and also the greenhouse gases, which is one of the reasons why this particular phenomenon in the Arctic ice cap is happening. And if we don't think about it right now, then the future looks bleak for humanity, where there will be no environment left for us to breathe in. And also the marine ecosystem, which Dr. Yellappa spoke about, is also affected by our decisions. So it is time that we bring about a change, and the change that we can bring about lies in the kind of decisions that we make, from shifting from fossil fuel burning to eco-friendly gases. We can reduce this extent of harm which is being done to the Arctic ice in the nearest future if we realize it right now. So if you guys have liked this piece of information that I've shared with you all today, please do drop in your comments, and also do not forget to like, share and subscribe to News 9 on various social media platforms. Many thanks for joining us.